Hello, good morning students. Today we are going to start new chapter, Alternative Centers of Power. Alternative Centers of Power. So as an introduction, after 1990s, there was US dominance or domination. So you already studied about the period of Cold War. So after the Second World War, there was a period of Cold War from 1945 to 1991 till the disintegration of the USSR. So after the disintegration of the USSR, there was the US dominance. So we already covered this US domination in the chapter US hegemony. So this US domination could be limited by alternative political and economic centers of power. So how can we limit the domination of US? Through the political and economic centers of power, alternative centers of power. So we already studied that there was no country which is equally powerful to the US, which is equally powerful to the US. So this China can stand at par with the US. Okay. Then two other organizations also came to the forefront to limit the powers, to limit the US dominance, and these organizations were the European Union and the ASEAN. So this European Union and ASEAN helped the countries in the region to become prosperous economies. So from the time of Second World War, after the end of the Second World War, there were two superpowers, the US and the USSR, and there were grouping of countries during the time of Cold War. So the USSR disintegrated in the year 1991. So after the disintegration of the USSR, there was the only one superpower or sole superpower, the US. So its power could be limited by alternative political and economic centers of power. So which are these alternative political and economic centers of power? The European Union, ASEAN, then China. So China is the only one country that could stand at par with the US. So these European Union and ASEAN helped the countries in the region to become prosperous economies. So European Union was established in the year 1992. Okay, so it was set up in the year 1992. So in 1945, the economies of European countries became ruined. How? Because of the Second World War, the economies of many European countries became ruined. So this period saw the destruction of assumptions and structures on which Europe had been founded. So regarding the European countries, there were certain assumptions. Okay. So on the basis of these assumptions and structures, these European countries had been founded. So during this period, these assumptions and structures began to decay or began to destroy. So, in 1945, the economies of European countries became ruined because of the Second World War, and this period saw the destruction of assumptions or expectations and structures on which Europe had been founded. So, the US came to the forefront. During this time, the US came to the forefront to revive the European economy. And it was done through the Marshall Plan of 1948. So, who came to save all these European countries from the economic ruin? The US. And through the Marshall Plan of 1948, the US came to, or US made several efforts to revive the European economies. So, Cold War helped the integration of European states. You are already familiar with this. You already studied about this, the integration of European states, mainly under the two power blocks, the US and the USSR, that Warsaw Pact and NATO. We already covered all this. So, the Cold War helped the integration of European states. So, this time the US decided to give financial help to revive the European economy, and it was done through the Marshall Plan. Then who was this Marshall? George Marshall. George Marshall was the US Secretary of State. So, under his initiative, under the initiative of this George Marshall, the US came forward to revive the European economies. Okay. So, this Marshall Plan is also called as European Recovery Program. Okay. So, Marshall Plan, its official name, European Recovery Program. Marshall Plan is also called as the European Recovery Program. So, this European Recovery Program was named after this Marshall, George Marshall, or Secretary of State of US. So, through the Marshall Plan, the US gave over $12 billion to the European countries to revive its economies. So, after the end of the Second World War, the economies of many European countries became ruined. During this time, the US came to save these European countries, or the US decided to revive the economies of European countries, and it was done through the Marshall Plan or the European Recovery Program. So, Marshall was George Marshall. He was the US Secretary of State. Under his initiative, this plan came into being. So, under the Marshall Plan, the US gave over $12 billion to the European countries. So, many other efforts were done by the US to revive the European economies. So, under the Marshall Plan, OEEC was set up. OEEC means Organization for European Economic Cooperation, and it was also established in the year 1948. So, it mainly helped, or it mainly gave aid to the West European states, West European countries. So, under the Marshall Plan, OEEC, or Organization for European Economic Cooperation, was set up in the year 1948, and it was established to give aid to the West European states. Now it has 35 member countries in OEEC. So the West European states had to cooperate on trade and economic issues. So now these West European countries, they began to cooperate on trade and economic issues. So you already studied about the NATO. So NATO was also formed in the year 1949, and the US could set up a new collective security structure through this NATO. So to revive the European economy, the US brought about the Marshall Plan under the initiative of George Marshall. Then under the Marshall Plan, OEEC was established. OEEC means Organization for European Economic Cooperation. So both Marshall Plan and OEEC came in the year 1948. Okay. So OEEC was set up to give aid to the West European states, economic aid to the West European states. So West European countries, they started to cooperate on trade and economic issues. So as a new collective security structure, NATO was also established. North Atlantic Treaty Organization was also set up in the year 1949. Now it has 30 member states. Then Council of Europe, 1949. Council of Europe and NATO, same year. Okay. First, Marshall Plan. Marshall Plan in the year 1948. Okay. Then OEEC, Organization for European Economic Cooperation, same year, 1948. Then NATO in 1949. Again, the Council of Europe in 1949. So, Council of Europe, which was established in the year 1949, was a new step towards the political cooperation. So, Council of Europe of 1949 is a step towards political cooperation among the states of Europe. Okay. So, it's an organization of European countries that seeks to protect democracy and human rights and to promote European unity. So, what was the intention of this Council of Europe? Actually, it was a step towards political cooperation among the countries of Europe. Then it is an organization of European countries that seeks to protect democracy and human rights and also to promote European unity. So this organization, this Council of Europe, still exists. Now it has 47 member states. Okay. So Council of Europe and NATO in the same year. NATO 1949. NATO 1949, then Council of Europe 1949. So it's a step towards political cooperation among the nations of Europe. So it's an organization that emerged to protect democracy and human rights and also to promote European unity. Okay. Then next one, European Economic Community of 1957. So it was established for the economic integration of European capitalist countries. and it led to the formation of European Economic Community of 1957. And now there is no European Economic Community. It ceased to exist in 2009. Okay, so it stopped its functioning in the year 2009. No need of studying this. Okay. So, economic integration of European capitalist countries led to the formation of European Economic Community of 1957. So, all these led to the idea of creation of a European Parliament. Okay. And the collapse of USSR in the year 1991 also resulted in the establishment of this European Union. So, before the formation of European Union, there were many other organizations. Okay. And these organizations gradually led to the formation of European Union, which was established in the year 1992. So, all these processes led to the idea of creation of European Parliament, and besides this, the collapse of USSR also resulted in the establishment of European Union of 1992. Okay. So, it's a political and economic union of 28 member states of Europe. Now, it has 27 member states. I will explain it later. So, political and economic union of 28 member states of Europe. So, what were the intentions behind the formation of European Union? They wanted to establish a common foreign and security policy. Common foreign and security policy. Then cooperation on justice and home affairs. Cooperation on justice and home affairs. Then creation of single currency. So, which is the single currency started by this European Union? Euro. Then free movement of people. Free movement of people to all these member states. Okay. So, the aims of European Union, they wanted to establish a common foreign and security policy, then cooperation on justice and home affairs, creation of single currency, free movement of people. Free movement of people. So, this is the picture of European Union. It is in Maastricht in Netherlands. So, European Union is a political union. At the time of its formation, there were 28 nations. Now, only 27 members. So, the European Union made an attempt to draft a constitution for it, but this attempt failed. But still, it has its own flag. Then anthem, founding date. So, I already mentioned that the year of formation 1992, but it started to function on 1st November 1993. 1st November 1993. So, this is considered as the founding date of this European Union. Actually, it was established in the year 1992. So, you have to study this year. Okay, 1992. The European Union was established in the year 1992, but it is given in your textbook that founding date, but that date is not given. You just write on the side of your text. Okay, 1st November 1993, just to know. Then currency. It has a currency. Then its headquarters at Maastricht, Netherlands. Okay. So European Union is an economic union. Actually, it was formed as an economic union, but gradually it became a political union. At first, economic issues were discussed in the European Union, but gradually it became political union of these European countries. At the time of formation, there were 28 member states. 28 member states were there, but now it has only 27 member countries. Its attempt to formulate a constitution became failed, but the European Union has its own flag, anthem, then founding date and currency. Then its headquarters is at Maastricht, Netherlands. And it is the flag of European Union. Flag of European Union. 12 stars are given on that flag. So it's a circle of gold stars, and it stands for solidarity and harmony between the peoples of Europe. Peoples of Europe means people from different countries of Europe. So this circle of gold stars stands for solidarity and harmony between the Europeans. Then there are 12 stars on the flag. Traditionally, the number 12 is a symbol of perfection, completeness and unity. So the European Union flag, there is a circle of gold stars, circle of 12 gold stars. So this circle of stars shows the solidarity and harmony among the European countries or among the peoples of Europe. Then these 12 stars, traditionally the number 12 is the symbol of perfection, completeness and unity. So under the European Union, a monetary union was also established in 1999. So a monetary union was established in the year 1999, and it is composed of 19 members. So there is a monetary union under the European Union, and it was established in 1999, and it is composed of, this monetary union is composed of 19 members. So these 19 member states use that euro, the currency of EU, European Union. So the 19 members of the monetary union use the currency of European Union, that is euro. So the first member state to leave the European Union is United Kingdom or Britain. United Kingdom. United Kingdom or Britain, and this UK left European Union on 31st January 2020. So a monetary union was also established in 1999, and under this monetary union there are 19 members, and these countries use the currency of European Union, that is euro. Then the first member state to leave the European Union is UK. Then on which day the Great Britain or this United Kingdom left European Union? 31st January 2020. Clear? So European Union, it's a political and economic union of 28 member states aims common foreign and security policy, cooperation on justice and home affairs, creation of single currency, then free movement of people. So, in its earlier period, the European Union was an economic union, but gradually it became a political union of 28 member states. Now the European Union has 27 member states. Then it has one flag, then anthem, and its founding date, 1st November 1993, then currency euro, then its headquarters is at Maastricht, Netherlands. Then 12 stars are there on the flag of European Union. So it stands for the solidarity and harmony between the peoples of Europe. Then 12 stars, the number 12, traditionally it is the symbol of perfection, completeness and unity. Then under the European Union, a monetary union was also established, and it was in the year 1999, European Union in 1992. Then founding date 1st November 1993. That means started to function in 1993. Then monetary union was established in 1999, and it consists of 19 members. These member states use the currency euro. Then which is the first member state to leave European Union? UK or Britain. So the European Union always tried to expand its area of cooperation by acquiring new members. Okay, even from the former Soviet bloc, it tried to get its member states. So the European Union can influence the other countries of the world economically, politically, diplomatically and militarily. So we have to analyze how the European Union influences economically, then politically and diplomatically, like this. Okay. So it can expand the areas of cooperation by acquiring new member states. Even from the former Soviet bloc, the European Union got member states. Okay. So now we have to analyze the economic influence of European Union. So how it influences the world economically. European Union is the second biggest economy. That means next to the US economy. Okay, second biggest economy, and its GDP is more than $17 trillion. And this European Union can pose a threat to US dollar. Then its share of world trade is larger than US. Share of world trade of this European Union is larger than US. Then it can influence its neighbors in Asia and Africa. As an economic power, it can influence over the countries of Asia and Africa. So the European Union is an important bloc in World Trade Organization. So the economic influence of European Union, it is the second biggest economy, and its GDP is of more than $17 trillion. And the euro can pose a threat to US dollar, and its share of world trade is larger than the US. Then as an economic power, it can influence the countries of even Asia and Africa. Then it is an important bloc in the World Trade Organization. So now I am going to analyze the political and diplomatic influence, of European Union. So in your text it is given as Britain. Britain is also mentioned here, but now we cannot mention Britain because Britain left the European Union in January 2020. So we cannot include Britain. Okay. So this France is a powerful country in Europe and or the member of European Union, and this France has permanent seat in UN Security Council, United Nations Security Council. So Britain, a prominent, a powerful country from the European Union, is a permanent seat holder, or it has permanent seat in the United Nations Security Council. And besides this permanent member, there are several non-permanent members of UN Security Council. Okay, so several members of the European Union are the non-permanent members of UN Security Council. So through this permanent member of UN Security Council and through these non-permanent members, it can influence, the European can influence the decisions of UN. Okay, so the European Union can influence the policies, the US policies, such as the policy on Iran's nuclear program, US policy on Iran's nuclear program. So through the permanent membership and the non-permanent membership in the UN Security Council, the members of the member states of the European Union can influence several decisions of the UN and also the US policies. For example, the US policy on Iran's nuclear program. So clear? First we studied the economic influence of European Union. Then next, political and diplomatic influence. So France, the powerful country in the European Union, it has permanent seat in UN Security Council, and besides this permanent membership of the UN Security Council, there are several non-permanent members, and these non-permanent members are also the members of the European Union. So these permanent and non-permanent members can influence the decisions of the UN. Even the US policies can be influenced by these countries. For example, the US policy on Iran's nuclear program. Then through its diplomacy, economic investments and negotiations, the European Union has become effective even in its dialogue with China on human rights and environmental degradation. So it follows diplomatic policies, and sometimes it is making investments, economic investments, and sometimes it makes negotiations. So through these policies, through diplomacy, then economic investments and negotiations, the European Union has become effective even in its contacts or even in its relations with China. on which matters human rights and environmental degradation. So through its diplomacy, economic investments and negotiations, the European Union has become effective even in its dialogue with China on human rights and environmental degradation. So what is the importance of China? China is the only state that can stand at par with the US. That means next to the US, if we take the case of world nations, who is very powerful, China is very powerful. So this powerful country can also be influenced by this European Union through negotiations, investments, etc. Then military influence of European Union, military influence. So European Union's combined armed forces is second largest in the world. So the European Union has combined forces of different member states, and it is the second largest in the world. And if we consider the expenditure, it also spends much, lesser than the US, or second, in the second position. After US, who spends much for the military forces? The European Union. Then Britain and France, nuclear arsenals of approximately 550 nuclear warheads. It is given in your text like this, so I wrote, leave it. Here also we cannot include Britain. Okay, so in earlier times or before 2020, you can write in that way. Okay, before 2020, this Britain and France had nuclear arsenals of approximately 550 nuclear warheads. And this European Union is the second, it has the second most important source of space and communication technology. So it has the second largest armed force, second largest combined armed force the European Union has. And if we take the case of expenditure, there also it stands at the second position, just after the US. Then before 2020, Britain and France had nuclear arsenals of approximately 550 nuclear warheads, and second most important source of space and communication technology. So I am not going to the limits of European Union. So it is so powerful, but still exercises some limits that we can analyze tomorrow. So now I am just revising this. So after 1990s, that means after the disintegration of USSR, there was the domination of US. So this domination or hegemon power of the US could be limited by alternative political and economic centers of power. So which are the alternative political and economic centers of power? European Union, ASEAN and China. And these European Union and ASEAN helped the countries in the region to become prosperous economies. Then European Union of 1992. So it was established in the year 1992. In 1945, after the Second World War, the economies of European countries became ruined. So this period saw the destruction of assumptions and structures on which Europe had been founded. The expectations the world have, okay, regarding the European nations. So these assumptions or expectations began to decay during this period. Then US efforts, US came to forward to revive the economy of European nations, and it was done through the Marshall Plan of 1948. So the Marshall Plan, before initiating the Marshall Plan, there was integration of European states. Who brought about this integration? The Cold War. So we already studied that grouping of countries or integration of countries, European countries. So and the financial help through the Marshall Plan, George Marshall, he was the US Secretary of State. Then under the Marshall Plan, the US gave over $12 billion to the European nations. And another name of Marshall Plan, European Recovery Program. Then under Marshall Plan, OEEC or Organization for European Economic Cooperation was set up. It was also in the year 1948. So it was established to give aid to the West European countries. So now it has 35 member nations. Okay. So the West European countries, they began to cooperate on trade and economic issues. Then as a new collective security structure, the NATO was formed in the year 1949. Then in 1949, the Council of Europe came into being, and it was a step towards political cooperation. Okay, so it's an organization set up to protect democracy and human rights, and also to promote European unity, and it has 47 member states. So European Economic Community of 1957. So economic integration of So now I am going to wind up our class. So tomorrow we can meet again. Okay, bye bye.